service stations on motorways. Mm-hmm. God, they're shit, aren't they?
I tend not to use them.
No, but they're overpriced shit.
What,
I paid a tenner for a 6-inch sub the other day.
Glad you said that. There's a glory hole in it.
I just followed the number written on the back of the cubicle. It said 6 inches for a tenner. My disappointment when I ended up with a sandwich. Service stations are shit, aren't they?
They are.
That's good, you know.
That's got me, yeah. Right, welcome to Gasoline Junkies. I'm Russell. This
I'm Barry.
Is Barry. Do your little...
A bit more flamboyant now, yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Right, so we're back again after our little break for the sponsor.
Yep.
We still haven't got any sponsors.
I'll stop asking for it now.
We got little advertisement space ready if anyone wants it. Before we go on to these questions, I've thought of something else while we're on the break. Who's your favourite YouTuber for car content?
Matt Armstrong.
You like Matt Armstrong?
I think he's brilliant.
Okay. For what reason?
But I say this. There's two actually. There's probably loads more. Matt Armstrong, because I think what he does is brilliant, and I think the way he creates, it's very clever actually in how he does it all. Because he'll do his hour thing, and it will get like 1 million views in about 12 hours or something. But then he's got his secondary channel that does the same amount, so he kind of pieces together all his stories across 2 channels.
Yeah.
So it gets, as a monetary value thing, the guy's fucking minted.
Clever,
now, isn't he? And considering when he's very open about his story and how he started doing it in COVID and everything like that.
Yeah.
I think he's brilliant. I just think he's brilliant.
I think what he's got going, like his content, the way it's filmed.
Yeah.
And just him as a person as well. He just seems like a really nice guy.
Yeah.
His content's put together really well.
Yeah.
It's really entertaining, and obviously sometimes informative as well, isn't it? So
very.
I like that because there's a lot of car shows out there that doesn't really go into the actual car builds. Like I watched what's the one on Netflix at the moment? The Riches to
Russ to Riches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like. It's all just like dramatised, and it's hardly anything about car builds in it, really.
Yeah.
It's all about the drama of buying a car. Somebody wants to sell their car. Yeah. It's all pantomime, and then the actual car builds. Bearing in mind they've got that what's her name, Constantine.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
I'll just literally have half an hour of her, to be honest with you, but. I just think that they're missing a trick because there's not really a really good car show like they used to. Gas Monkey was always good, but that got a bit dramatised as well, didn't it? It's all pantomime.
Yeah, Gas Monkey went from like that fly on the wall.
Yeah.
Him and Aaron in their little unit. I say little. Their little unit, the porter cabin office.
Yeah.
And then he took a chance and he moved. But have you read Richard Rawlins' autobiography?
No, I've seen him on a couple of podcasts.
It's really very, very good. But he was a very clever businessman.
Yeah.
But I think the more it got popular, the more control he lost with it, because it was very scripted. And then they brought in that other fella, his fixer. What was his name? I didn't like him anyway.
The young lad?
No, the older guy with a beard.
Oh, okay, yeah. I know you're on about.
They're like Desperate Dan. But yeah, didn't like it, but it got very scripted, and it was
again very pantomime.
Very pantomime.
I think it lost a lot of the actual car building. Yeah, which is what any car guy wants is to.
But I think when it was,
you want a little bit of like pantomime. Yeah, a little bit, but not.
But I think when it was with Aaron, I think he was the key to that being the way it was.
Yeah, because he used to go quite in depth with the build, didn't he? Yeah.
But it's the one thing I like about Matt Armstrong is, particularly on his Porsche GT3 build, when he got the shims wrong on the engine build. Yeah. And he had to take it all apart. I like that. Yeah. I like that he's not too big to realise he's made mistakes.
Wrong, yeah.
So that's what I really like about him.
Yeah.
But for car testing and car content, Chris Harris.
You like him, don't you?
I think he's a scaled down version.
He's like a man crush.
It is. He's like a scaled down version of God.
Yeah.
But it's the way that he's, an amazing driver, but the way he can describe what he feels through a car. It's like he gives every car a personality, and he just analyses it in his own unique way.
Yeah.
And
is this his podcast or is this?
No, he does a YouTube channel video channel called Chris Harris on Cars. I'll send you an invoice later, Chris, for that, for a bit of advertising. And but he does his podcast every Friday with some very just lovely guests, but it's just brilliant. Just his enthusiasm for cars outshines virtually anyone else's I could listen to, and their knowledge as well.
Okay.
But it's just that he has such a passion. You think of a car geek, you think of a petrol head, you think we're all petrol heads. We're nothing compared to him, and just it just beautifully narrates what a car is to a petrol head. Yeah, and it's just so lovely to hear, and that's what I really, really like.
Good.
So his lenses have just steamed up.
It's got a bit hot now.
I thought you were being serious then. I was like, is that a thing?
So who are yours?
Mine's Pudding's Fab Shop. Pudding's Fab Shop on YouTube is by far the best thing on YouTube. Okay. For entertainment, car content, and just like it's just funny. So it's like a hillbilly redneck type thing in Oklahoma. So he's got like a proper Forrest Gump voice going on.
He's not the really big fella, is he?
No. You'll know him when you see him. He's just got something about him. But the way he puts his content together, is constantly changing the camera angles.
Yeah.
Which constantly keeps you, because some of the people I watch, they just put the camera there. Sometimes they talk into it. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they just speed it up.
Yeah.
I watch Beards for Builds. You ever seen those? No. Theirs are pretty good, but they do a lot of where they just leave the camera on one bit and then speed it up.
Yeah.
You do get to see a lot of their builds, but it's not. Pudding's Fab Shop is by far the best thing on YouTube.
So it's like pudding, like dinner.
Yeah, like dinner. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll look at that.
And he does things like old trucks. Does a lot of old trucks, a lot of mini trucks.
Yeah.
But he goes to scrap yards and finds something, pulls it back to his place, and he started from nothing as well. He literally just working out the garage next to his house, and now he's got this like 10 acres of land and massive unit. It's brilliant.
One I do like, and he's a little bit controversial in his way, is that Whistling Diesel fella. Have you ever watched him?
No, I haven't heard of him.
No, he's quite a character, but he took his Ferrari F8 or something like that, and he done some stunts around for a cornfield, but he bunged up all the air intakes and the brakes and everything on his Ferrari.
Oh, did it catch fire?
And it caught fire.
I did see that. I see that video on something.
But then he'll do like a test with a Tesla Cybertruck against the Ford F-150 or something, a durability test.
Yeah.
And it points out a lot of stuff, but he's quite controversial in the way he does it. But he's an entertaining watch.
All right. Who else do I? Yeah, so there's Pudding's Fab Shop. He's got a second channel as well, which is always good. You got Weird Beard. Weird Beard's good. For knowledge, again, he's from Oklahoma, and there must be something going on down there. He kind of buys and sells old cars, but he's a paint sprayer as well, so he does a lot of body work. But he goes into depth in his builds, and he's just a lovely person. You know, when you just see somebody, and whether they were talking about building cars or painting a shed or whatever, you'd be interested in it because he's just a nice guy. So I like him.
There's two more actually. I'm going to say Gas Monkey on YouTube.
Gas Monkey's good.
I think the way it's filmed now is brilliant.
It's much better than it was when it was on. Is it History?
When it came to the end...
Stop banging the table. Sorry. You're supposed to tell him this.
When it came to the end of its time on Discovery, that's when it got a bit scripted. But now it's moved over to YouTube.
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant.
It did start off a little bit sketchy because they had that young lad. I don't know what happened with that. And maybe one of the viewers can tell us. But remember the young lad that was doing it with him?
Yeah.
When he first went over to YouTube. And he was kind of like the head of the shop.
Yeah.
He was only like 22 or something like that. And to be honest with you, it was very knowledgeable for somebody so young, but he was kind of given a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
But I was speaking to somebody and they said that they think he might be on the old gear a bit. So I don't know, but obviously I don't know.
Fill us in, viewers.
Yeah, so
viewer.
But obviously he just kind of went abruptly. He didn't sort of when Aaron went, there was a big thing about him going. I'd never really see anything. He just one day he was there, next minute he wasn't.
Another one as well, Dennis Collins.
Dennis Collins.
He's
Coffee
really,
Walk. Yeah, he's really knowledgeable.
He's just brilliant. And again, his knowledge of American cars, but even to look for the serial numbers and this and that.
Yeah.
He's just brilliant.
Yeah. His daughter's gorgeous as well, isn't she?
Kelsey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a soft spot for her.
But no, Dennis Collins, from a non-pervy sort of way, he's brilliant.
Yeah.
He's really, really good.
Yeah. Are you calling me a pervert?
Yeah, because I am as well.
Not over Dennis Collins, his daughter. Who else is there? So, yeah, Beers for Builds, they're very good. But like I say, they tend to just whack a camera on and just speed it up. That bit's not really that entertaining, but everything in between that is really good. And again, if they do something wrong, they explain that they've done it wrong and show you why it went wrong. Other than that, who else is there? This is a question we can ask our guests, actually. Who do they watch on YouTube?
Who do you watch on YouTube?
Apart from us.
Yeah. Nobody watches us. I don't know. I tend to watch quite a fair bit of car shows on YouTube.
Yeah, I do.
What grind your gears, Barry?
There's many things, mate. Now, bearing in mind for my job, there's weeks where I'll do 1,000 miles a week.
Yeah.
To and fro in from meetings and whatever. The biggest thing I don't like...
I know what you're going to say before you even say it.
You're going to... I think this country's really impatient.
Right.
I think, having done a bit of driving in like Germany, France... again, in France, you have to pay tolls along the motorways, but there's a reason for it. The roads are immaculate. You can get... I think a couple of years ago, we, as a family, went down to the south of France for a family wedding, and the drive down there was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful, and we didn't get caught in a single bit of traffic. The roads were immaculate. Scenery was great.
Was this all the way through France?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah. It was just stunning. Done a bit of driving in Switzerland. Again, brilliant. Done driving through Belgium. That's scary. Belgium's scary.
Is it?
But again, it's really good. I think everyone here is just really impatient. So much so, jumping red lights. I think people who jump like red lights are pricks. I just think there's no consideration for anybody else outside your four corners of your car. And it shows when you do that, because like, particularly, there's a whole big controversy thing. You know when a lane of two merges into one for roadworks? Now, there'll be a sign 400 yards back. Use both lanes until merge, yeah? But us in this country seem to want to merge into that one lane as early as possible, leaving this lane empty.
Yeah.
Now, I do it. I drive up to when I can safely...
And then they won't let you in.
But then some prick will go in front of you and think, hey, I got Billy Big Boy, he's overtaking it. No, mate, the fucker who stopped you is in the wrong. So, yeah, everyone's just really impatient, and everybody seems to not respect other road users anymore. And it just makes... I'm sure we've said this before. It just makes driving really unfun. Like 15, 20 years ago, if you're a bit stressed or whatever, you go out for a drive, it's lovely. It's a soothing thing. Now, it's just shit. It's just shit. And particularly on the motorways... And I could bang on about this for ages. Since the introduction of smart motorways, lanes 1 and 2 seem to be non-existent users now. It all seems to be lanes 3 and 4, where people just sit in a row and go...
You've always hated middle hang-up.
I fucking hate them.
Yeah.
I hate them with a passion. And this is a real life experience for me this week. I was driving home from work. I was working in Leighton in London. I was on the M25 the other day at junction 23, and it stopped because there was an incident. So I was sat for about 45 minutes, and then the highways agency took us off at junction 23 and then went under the thingy and then back on at junction 23 to thus avoid the accident. It goes on, but then the vast majority of people who come on go, oh my God, I must go into lane 3 and 4. But why?
Do they all sound like that?
Yeah. What are you overtaking? Because they sit there and do 60, but the motorway behind you is closed, so there's no traffic at all. What is Britain's mentality to fucking go into lanes 3 and 4 and sit there. Mm-hmm. I don't understand how we've become so shit at driving, or how our road manners are just so shit.
Yeah.
I genuinely do not understand it. I don't know whether it's smart motorways, everyone's scared because they still think, oh, that's a hard shoulder, when it's not. Because if you pay attention to your gantries, when they're lit up, you can drive on any lanes.
Do you think that's a good thing?
What
the introducing the smart lanes?
No.
So I must admit there is a bit of I not get anxiety, but the fact that you could break down on the motorway now and not be able to pull over into a hard shoulder.
I think it's a terrible thing.
Is quite worrying.
It is bad.
I understand why you've got anxiety.
Yeah.
No, it is a bad thing, because I've broken down on motorways before, and to be safely pulled over to the hard shoulder,
because they will close that lane, but it's not instant, is it?
No, it isn't instant. But then you almost create, if you stop, but then all them people in them things, if they queue up behind you, they've then got to then filter into live traffic.
Yeah.
So it then creates another problem.
Yeah.
Whereas if you can pull over onto the hard shoulder, you're out of the traffic.
I do.
If you break down on the hard shoulder and everyone's got a filter out lane 2, they're empty because everyone's in 3 and 4.
That is very true. That is very true. But no, I generally do not think. I don't know how Britain has, and it's not just on the M1, which I use probably the most. The M6 toll, if I ever have to go up north, it's a lovely stretch of road because it's always so quiet. Why be a dickhead and sit in the middle lane when there's nothing in the first lane?
Yeah.
I don't understand the mentality.
But you can actually get pulled over for it, can't you?
Yeah, I think they should. But the problem, again, your dad will probably tell you, there isn't.
He doesn't watch it.
You rarely see coppers on the motorway anymore.
No.
So there's never any motorway patrol cars or anything. So whether or not it's not a priority for them, or they're underfunded, whatever, it's going to get quite political in a minute. But people just get away with fucking shit.
I was on
and you can put them gantries over the top saying keep left unless you overtake. No one gives a fuck about them.
No. I was on a motorway yesterday going to Northampton, and I was doing 72 mile an hour, and I got flashed. Well, no, a flash happened behind me. So I don't know whether I'm going to get a letter in the post soon.
What car were you in?
The Kia white one.
So we're playing football.
But no, it wasn't. The thing is, it wasn't a van. It was one of the.
Oh, one of the thingies.
But I don't think that.
I've been flashed by loads of them and nothing's come through, so I think it'll be all right.
The way it was is I was sort of in the middle bit.
Were you lane hogging?
No, I wasn't actually. I'd make a point of not doing it anymore, just in case you're on the motorway with me. But yeah, I was on the motorway. There was a car next to me, and then there was nothing in the fast lane really. And then as we sort of drove past it flashed, and I was like, I'm only doing 70. It was like 70.
Was there somebody overtaking you going slightly faster?
No.
You don't know them, mate.
For 70, I can't see them doing it for 72. I wouldn't
just
even
stay clenched for the next 4 to 6 weeks until a letter comes through. If a letter comes through.
On episode 12.
Yeah. Russell's got points. Ironically for speeding.
I know, the irony.
But no, it fucks me off. It fucks me off a lot.
I can tell. You might have to go to therapy.
I'm going to have to go to therapy or counselling or something. But it fucks. And another thing, it's the sheer volume of traffic in this country. Now, sometimes to get to where I need to go, I will leave really early in the morning. I'll leave at 5:30. How can you get caught in traffic at 5:45 in the morning on a motorway?
Everyone's doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's just mad. Whereas before, you could just bomb anywhere, see no traffic. I only see lorries who keep to the front and just have the motorway to yourself. There's just so much traffic now. It's almost like our road network can't cater for the amount of cars we've got on the British roads.
Yeah.
And the way we drive. I just think we're really impolite, we're really discourteous. And
so what do you think the difference is between obviously here and the roads in France then?
The roads in France, I genuinely think people know how to drive better.
It's not due to the tolls.
I don't know if this is a true thing or not, but it could be as part of their test. They might have to have motorway driving as part of their test. So their lane discipline in France and Germany is, quite frankly, immaculate. I know
one of my mistakes is doing driving lessons at the moment, and they go on the motorway quite a lot.
Do they really?
Well, I always thought when I was doing mine, You wasn't allowed on the motorway.
No,
until
we
you
weren't
passed
allowed
the
to.
test.
You had to do another.
Because he said to me, he said, I went up the M1 today. I was like, you sure it wasn't the A5? He was like, no, it's the M1. It had like 4 lanes over. I'm like,
Yeah.
you sure? And he was like, and then I asked his driving instructor. He said,
No, because when I learned to drive, you had to do another. It was a motorway.
yeah, but
sort of
normally
like,
wasn't that after you passed your test?
Yeah,
yeah.
So it's almost like an advanced driving type thing.
Yeah, I think you could do motorways and night driving, couldn't you?
Yeah,
But only after you pass your test.
Yeah.
But now they do it all.
that's cool.
I think as well.
Well, let's hope the future generation know that you have to
drive.
stick it. Yeah.
I think they should start changing the driving tests and lessons to actually knowing how to change, like check your oil, check your water, check windscreen wash. My niece come around the other day and they'd put antifreeze in the screen wash. And I had to siphon it all out.
Well, the funny thing is, it just shows generationally. Like if you read the Haynes manual from back in the days when you could
Remember
fix
that was a thing.
Yeah, but you could fix
They
a
were
car.
great, weren't they?
You could fix a car with a spanner. You could gap your spark plugs.
Yeah.
Nowadays, in the instructions, it says do not drink the battery water. I mean, how fucking stupid have you got? I'm thirsty. I'll drink that battery.
Damn.
Do you know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
the generational thing is a bit.
But I do
fucked.
think it'd be a good idea if like they pop the bonnet and say, "What's that? That's
Yeah.
your radiator. When can you put the water in? Or when it's cooled down?
Yeah.
Just basic things like that. Really, change a wheel.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, you should be able to change a wheel.
Yeah.
Or even if they taught it in schools.
Yeah.
Drop maths.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
drop
don't need maths
one
anymore. You get
history.
your fucking phone. Yeah.
It's not a bad idea, but
We've all got that calculator in our pocket, so
Yeah, that they said we'd never be walking around with.
that's true.
you sound like a bunch of old men.
We really do. I love it. We need just pipe and slippers. Get some wing back chairs, mate. and
Yeah, I was
just
going to
have a
say we
fucking
might have
good
to
rant.
change this room a little bit.
Get a bit of old Steve Wright on it. Oh no.
He's died
rest his
now.
soul.
Yeah. Bless him.
But yeah, also another thing as well, the amount of people who use their phones while driving.
Yeah, that's dangerous
It
now.
fucks me off. And again, through my driving this week, again, I was on the M1 and I was overtaking a lorry and I was doing 70 in lane 2. And there was some tarty fucking blonde woman in a flashy Merc CLK or something, sitting there like, oh yeah, just having a chat on a phone, doing about 50 in lane 3 in a live motorway. That's just fucking dangerous.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they've changed the rules now where you're not even allowed to touch your phone. Are
no, that's the thing. But since they changed the rules, people are either really stupid or why is there so many people on their phones? And it fucks me off because there shouldn't be a reason for it. Like my car, for example, I've got CarPlay. So if I need to call my wife, send a message to anybody,
Call
I
your
can
girlfriend.
call my girlfriends, call my boyfriends, anything. I can talk to you guys without having to physically touch my phone.
Yeah, we're not all posh like you, though.
No,
My car was made in '98.
but then for you can stick your AirPods in and you can call your.
I haven't got an Apple phone.
All right, stick your fucking skull candies on or whatever. But you can do your Google Android thing and not have to touch your phone.
I have got an updated stereo. I could if I wanted.
So that's my whole point. There's so much technology in
Yeah,
cars
there
now
is.
that you shouldn't have to.
No.
But the sheer frequency of people that using their phone, it fucks me off.
It's so dangerous as
Yeah.
well, isn't it? Yeah.
And I only say that because years ago I've had friends who sadly died from people who have been using their phones as a result of a car, and it resulted in a car crash.
Yeah.
So it's something that is quite strong for me because I like my friends. I don't like seeing them die.
Yeah.
So yeah, use it. I never ever touch my phone when I'm driving because I can always. I have 2 phones, one for work and one for me.
I don't touch my phone. I touch 2 of them.
I have both. I have them like that. I can flicker between them in my stereo. So then, if I need to talk shop,
Yeah.
I can talk on my work phone. If I need to talk to the wife, I can flicker between the 2. And I never touch my phone.
So do you think that in the way that these cars are going now, with like especially a Tesla, you've got like a massive like TV screen on your dash? Do you think that's as much as a distraction as a phone?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Because I mean, literally now, the Teslas, everything is through that screen, isn't it?
Yeah.
So turning your fans on, heating up, everything you touch in the screen.
I miss a knob.
Yeah, everyone likes playing.
I
with
miss a good knob. I generally do. Like on mine, it's all haptic buttons. And you have to, whereas before you could just, if it was
See,
dark.
I've always said as well that that's how you could tell a good, like, solid car, a well-built car, by the way that the knobs turn.
Yeah.
So if it turns and there's a bit of like resistance.
Bit of resistance, yeah.
Yeah, you know you're getting a.
Or it gets, like my dad used to have a Lexus and it was just so beautifully just built. You press a button and it just gave a reassuring click.
Yeah.
Even after 75,000 miles, it still made the same click.
Yeah.
But even when you went from cold to hot on your aircon, when it went from that transition from cold to hot, it just had a lovely click.
Yeah.
So you knew where you were with it. You didn't even have to look at it. Whereas now I have to go, do I want it on my feet? And I have to physically, and yeah, it is dangerous.
It's a distraction. That.
Yeah. Oh, no, yeah, but that's why I think voice recognition. But half the time, if I say, I don't know, put this song on, my sat nav will take me to Scunthorpe or something. So
Yeah.
it's not perfect, but you know, it's
come a long way.
It's come a long way.
Are we all right for filming?
Yeah, just sound with 25 minutes of Barry letting rip.
I know.
This middle camera. How long's left on the memory? 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, but
So
no,
we've got a couple more rants in.
yeah. So go on, what's yours? Because I could go on till the cows come home.
Yeah, mine would be definitely people texting, using their phones. You see it all the time. It's so dangerous as well. It's scary the amount of people that are actually doing it nowadays.
Yeah.
You know, especially when, you know, we've all, since the early days of mobile phones, it's always been like you're not allowed to do it.
Yeah.
And more people seem to be doing it now than ever.
Yeah.
And like you say, what you can't do, like while you're driving, I'm sure you can wait 10, 15 minutes before either pulling over.
There's nothing that's that urgent in my life that I need to be on my phone for. If something happens at home or something happens with my wife, she will call me and I can answer and not have to touch my phone. There's nothing that urgent in my... I don't need to see Facebook that urgently.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Something else as well, I mentioned that my boy's doing driving lesson. I actually said my mistakes. That's what I call them.
Yeah, your mistakes.
He's doing his driving lessons at the moment, and I don't know whether it's the same about all over the UK, but in Milton Keynes, it's really, really bad at the moment for them to try and book a test.
Yeah.
So what's happening is, and they really need to look into this, people are booking tests with no intention of ever doing the actual test, so they can sell them on. You know what they're doing with like
tickets,
like concert tickets. They're doing that, and
really?
I think it's like 170. They're selling for like £175 a pop. And so what they do is they go a group of people, I think, go on there and book every single test in Milton Keynes,
and then flog them to the highest bidder.
and then they sell them to the highest bidder.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, but when he's booked his in, he's had to book it in for like Northampton. That's the closest one they can do it. But it's either Northampton, Luton, Leighton Buzzard, and I think Hemel Hempstead as well, as far as that. And nobody can get an actual test in Milton Keynes.
Hell.
Yeah, it's disgusting. And they need to really clamp down on it because it's not right. So I think they should do... If you're not the person that's booked the test, it shouldn't go ahead. So you shouldn't be able to sell it.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be able to book it and sell it on to somebody else. It's not right.
Another thing as well, another little rant, service stations on motorways. Mm-hmm. God, they're shit, aren't they?
I tend not to use them.
No, but they're overpriced shit and they're really badly maintained.
Yeah.
Again, going into Europe, on this French motorway that we went to, you pull in and there's like a little rest area and you can go for a piss and a poo and whatever.
Thanks for the clarification.
That's all right.
And a wank. You can have a wank if you want.
But they are brilliant. They're so well maintained and everything because again you pay your tolls and that money goes straight back into the motorway network.
Yeah.
Over here they're just shit, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're just shit.
Like you say, they're overpriced. So you're going to, they're normally KFCs and McDonald's and whatnot, and you're paying probably double.
I paid a tenner for a 6-inch sub the other day.
Glad you said that. There's a glory hole in it.
I just followed the number written on the back of the cubicle. It said 6 inches for a tenner. My disappointment when I ended up with a sandwich. Yeah, service stations are shit, aren't they?
They are.
That's tickled you now.
That's got me, yeah. It's this. I can hear this banging as well. Every time you're talking, it's bouncing off.
That milk's fucked you up today, isn't it?
And that pink elephant.
Giggles, the munchies in a minute.
The pink elephant over there. Yeah. So, okay. So what's the best service station that you've been to in the UK?
The one in the Lake District.
I was going to say that's the one I've been to.
Because it's privately owned.
Is that what it is?
Yep.
Right.
That's
okay.
what I think. Everything else, from my understanding, is owned by a big conglomerate, and they don't really give a fuck about them.
Yeah.
The one up north in the Lake District, not only has it got lovely views,
Beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the food's banging as well because it's like homemade food. But there was this other one I went to. It's near Gloucester. I think it was on the M5. I even texted my wife to say, this is a great services, because it really impresses me.
Right.
Because half the time they're just shite.
Yeah.
And the toilets, they stink of shit, and they're just crap.
Yeah.
And again, for lorry drivers, my brother-in-law is a lorry driver, a transcontinental lorry driver, and I look at what they've got over here and I think, I feel really sorry for you bastards. But again, over in Europe, they have designated lorry parks and give them drivers the amenities. And it's much better over there. You can see why Andy, Kirsty's brother, is a transcontinental lorry driver. He spent so much time over there because it's shit over here.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So basically, I just think our network is shit. So who's the Prime Minister? Keir Starmer, sort it out, mate. We pay our taxes. And potholes.
Proper going into one.
Fucking potholes.
Yeah. Milton Keynes was really bad for potholes for a long time.
I think there should never be a pothole on a motorway. Because it's meant to be the safest route of transport. You end up doing that and hitting the potholes.
Yeah.
They're just nuts. I'm going to turn red in a minute. You can see steam coming out of my ears.
One of the guys that works, he done all his suspension, didn't he, last year for a pothole? It was like it didn't even hit it that hard, but it just everything in his suspension, everything just shattered.
Yeah.
And it ended up costing him a fortune. He tried claiming, but they were like, unless you can prove that it was done by there.
Oh really?
Literally, if your car fell apart in the pothole, they might look into it. But yeah.
That's bad though.
If you then drive off, it's down to you.
Yeah.
Just take your car back.
Just do a picture.
Yeah. But yeah.
Another thing as well, finally, because it's obviously a hot topic for me. People who cut corners. So like if you're going into a supermarket and you're coming out and you want to turn right, but then people come in and go that way.
Yeah.
Why cut that corner?
Yeah.
Why is it so difficult to go, I'll follow the correct bit? Because there was times I come out of our local Sainsbury's and I do like that, and then some cuts across my bit.
He is getting angry, isn't he?
And it's laziness, isn't it? It's staying for another 2 seconds and putting a bit more effort into the driving.
Yeah.
It's just laziness.
So what do you feel about people parking over 2 spaces but paying for 2 spaces? So say you had like a Lamborghini, whatever, a Porsche, like something really nice, and you're proud of it.
And you pay for 2 spaces.
You park in the middle of 2 spots, so you're taking up 2 spaces, but you paid for 2 spots. Should that be allowed? Should that be allowed? I think it should.
I think it should, providing.
Depends if I need a space.
Well, no, if you can park.
If you're paying for both spaces, it shouldn't really be.
It shouldn't really be a problem. No, I think that's all right because you're protecting your pride and joy. And car park, again, another thing. Car parking spaces have always remained the same size, where cars have got notoriously bigger and wider.
We were saying this the other day, weren't we?
Yeah, have you seen a picture of a Cavalier and a Vectra?
Yeah.
They're just massive.
They're nuts, aren't they?
And what did I see? I see a BMW 3 Series from like an E30, and then you see the new one parked next to each other, and you can literally pick the E30 up and put it inside the new one.
Yeah, it's madness because the parking space have remained. Oh, I had to do a calculation for it once. I think it's 3 meters.
for no reason.
I had to do it for work. I think it's 3 meters by 5 meters or something like that. That's the space.
I think Costco's got it right, haven't they?
Costco's have got big ones.
Yeah,
because they've got big trolleys.
Yeah, it's the only place I like parking.
Yeah.
Yes. But no, I think if you pay for 2, that's fine. But there's a bigger problem for that.
So what do you think about people that park too far over in a car park?
So too far across the line?
Yeah, so you then can't park in that space.
Oh, I'm a wanker. I'll park in it.
Would you?
Yeah.
That's because it's not your car.
It's not my. It's my company car. But no, the case in point at our local Sainsbury's, you've got the space, but then they've got a little bit of overhang each side of the space.
Right.
Now, for me, I try my best to park within the lines to minimise the overhang.
Yeah.
But some people just go, oh, fuck it, like that. And they're more on the overhang. So I'll park next to it, particularly if it's their driver's door.
Right.
Just to show that they've parked like a I've used the word a lot.
You have, yeah.
I'm really sorry. You'll have to beep it out.
YouTube hates that word.
But yeah, I think I'm quite a driving snob when it comes to things like that. I appreciate good manners.
Yeah.
I will always flash people out, be courteous, civil.
That's another thing. It's 2 minutes we've got. That's another thing. Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's good to flash somebody? Right, because cars nowadays are getting their lights are so bright. When you flash somebody or somebody flashes you, you're potentially blinding them for a split second.
Depends if it's daylight or not.
Yeah, but obviously, if you wave and it's pitch black, they can't see that you wave. So you come across the road. So I get why you do it, but I just think it's an odd thing to do.
But then
potentially blinding them for a couple of seconds.
Yeah, if you flash them, it's the acknowledgement to say thank you. But if you don't, then you'll think that guy's rude. So you either get blinded for a second and go, oh, he was polite, I can't see. So
you could just turn your lights off for a second.
Yeah, you could just.
Normal.
That's a good idea. I never thought about doing that.
Yeah, just go side lights, main beam.
Yeah. I'm going to try that.
I hate people who park at night with full beam on, but leave it, especially where everyone's lights nowadays.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I feel there could be a part 2 to this.
Yeah.
3, 4,
I think there's going to
5.
have to be. Well, there's no reason why they can't.
No.
Between now and...
You've got 1,000 miles this week, haven't you?
I have. I've got a lot of mileage to do this week. Yeah, I'll write down on my. I'll write down when I'm driving as well on my phone.
Same we dictate.
While hogging lane 3.
Yeah, so we've got 1 minute, right, so we're going to wrap it up. So thank you for watching, as always.
Sorry for listening to my rants, but
and his constant swear words.
Yeah, my swear words. I'm sorry if I've offended anybody. If there was foul language, I apologise. Like, comment and subscribe if you're offended by what we've done today.
Yeah.
And if you'd like to see anything new in the chats in the future.
Yeah, in the rants.
In the rants.
Merch is going to be available very soon, as I always say. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Yeah? Is that good?
Yeah.
That was funny.